I'm very surprised to report that the Diverge and the Grizl are actually very different bikes. I know on paper they look similar, they're both dedicated gravel bikes, they both come from good brands, but in owning and riding both these bikes, they're very different to each other and suited for different terrain, different type of riders. So depending on which one you're looking at, like there is a stark difference between both of these bikes. So when you think of these two bikes, on paper they look very similar. Similarly spec'd, the Grizl supports a 50 mil tire, the Diverge supports a 47, which is pretty large. But when you get them out and ride, they're totally different bikes. They don't ride similar at all. The words I would use to describe the Grizl are like tank, solid, stable ride. Whereas the Diverge, I would use like smooth, delicate, and precise. The Diverge has much thinner tubes. The bike frame is thinner, the fork is thinner. It weighs less. The Diverge weighs about 19 pounds, the build I had, whereas this Grizl weighs just about 22. So there's a 3-pound difference between the bikes, which says it all. Like the Grizl's a tank. It wants to conquer technical terrain. It wants to ride hard. Whereas the Diverge is that smooth ride. It's precise. It wants to take you on a very smooth, precise ride. If the terrain is technical and rough and chunky, the Grizl does really well. Like that's what it wants. You get a lot of confidence on like really chunky stuff. Whereas the Diverge, it's still safe, it's still stable, but it's a lot smoother. And you don't want to push it as hard. The Grizl's not a smooth bike, it's a stable bike. And I think that's one of the main differences you'll notice between these two, is the confidence level is higher on the Grizl, but the smooth comfort level is much higher on the Diverge. So depending on what type of terrain you're going to be riding your gravel bike on, like that could be the biggest difference for you. If it's rough terrain, if it's technical, chunky, to the point where you'd want a mountain bike, like the Grizl's a great choice for that type of gravel terrain. Whereas on the flip side, like if you're going to be riding all day on like a medium rough gravel road, the Diverge is going to be your smoothest option. It'll give you a comfortable ride. It'll be very precise. Like a perfect example is this specific section of trail I avoid on all the other gravel bikes I've ridden. I almost exclusively ride this section on my mountain bike. I haven't ever done it on my Diverge or my Crux, but here I am riding it on the Grizl, and this is fine. The Diverge would do it. It just wouldn't be as, stable on this stuff. Top of my climb. Look how gorgeous it is today. Oh, look at that. Not to spoil my long-term review of the Grizl, but the Grizl feels really at home on rough, technical terrain. Like stuff I would normally avoid on the Diverge or on the Crux or on any other gravel bikes, like I do not mind on this bike at all. There's no fear. You don't feel out of place. Like it's definitely rough. Like it's not a smooth ride, but you can do totally fine on it. You can ride this bike wherever you would like. Whereas the Diverge is really good, but I would give the edge on like technical rough stuff to the Grizl. Like normally going down this type of stuff, this is pretty steep and rough. Like I would be really focused. I wouldn't be talking. On this bike, it's fine. Like it's just fine. No big deal. The other thing I'm really curious about on this Grizl versus the Diverge is what would happen if you were to put a fork on this guy. Already, without any suspension, this is competitive with the Diverge, and the Diverge comes with the Future Shock. Now, if you were to put a small amount of travel on here, a nice sit fork on here, or a nice cross-country fork with a little bit of travel, like this thing would just shred everything. And that's what it wants. Like when you ride this bike, you get the feel for it, like wanting to ride really technical and rough terrain. And that's what it's built for, and that's what it does really well. The Diverge, with its Future Shock, is competitive to the Grizl. But again, the Grizl is a fixed fork, and it's already competing with that bike. So I don't know, it'd be really interesting to see what this bike would be like with a fork. The other thing I'll give props to on the Diverge and Specialized is the handlebar setup. The handlebar setup on the Diverge is very comfortable, very ergonomical. It has some bends right here on the right places. The drops sit out in just the right spots. The shifters are tucked in just right. So ergonomically, that handlebar is really comfortable. Whereas on this bike, on the Grizl, this handlebar is just like a stock alloy road bike bar. Like there's nothing special about this bar at all. Like I could have got this bar off of like a 2015 road bike. Like there's nothing fancy about this one, which is fine, but I do like the ergonomics of the Diverge handlebars. Yeah, so one of the other areas you notice a big difference is on road riding. The Diverge you can get away with riding as a road bike. You put some skinny tires on that thing and it rides really nice on the road. It's efficient, it's not too heavy, and it works great. I would almost ride that for like an all-purpose bike, whereas for the Grizl, like I just don't enjoy riding this thing on the road at all. I'm riding it on the road right now for purposes of this video, but anytime there's a fair amount of road riding on my ride, I'll definitely reach for a different bike. The Diverge does fine as a road bike, whereas the Grizl, no, I would not even think or classify it as a road bike at all. So if you do any type of road riding, or that's like any percentage of the terrain you're gonna ride, definitely think about getting something else. The Diverge works great on all terrains. The Grizl is definitely not a road bike at all.
So in verdict between the Diverge and the Grizl, at the end of the day, the Diverge has more uses. It's a more practical bike. You can ride that thing on the road. You can ride it on rough gravel terrain. You can switch out the tires. The Future Shock really goes a long way in making that bike practical in a variety of different rides. Whereas the Grizl, I think, leans more into a very gravel bike. This bike wants to ride very technical, very rough terrain, and that's what it's good at. Now, outside of that rough, technical gravel terrain, it doesn't really do anything else very well. It doesn't ride on the road very well. On smooth gravel roads, it feels kind of sluggish. So depending on what you're looking for, if you want that kind of multi-purpose gravel bike that can suit a variety of terrains, I would lean more towards the Diverge. Where on the flip side, if you want to ride rough terrain and you almost want a mountain bike, but something that's efficient at the same time like a gravel bike, the Grizl is going to be the choice of bike in that. At the end of the day, Canyon is always going to beat out on value. They're a direct-to-consumer brand. They do a lot of things in-house. You get that German engineering. So for value, I would give value to the Grizl. You get a lot of bike for much lower cost. Now for usability and practicality, I would give that to the Diverge. So again, totally depending on what you do with the bike, what you want to do with that bike. These are both good bikes. I personally am going to lean a little bit more towards the Diverge just because it has a lot more uses. But at the end of the day, it's going to depend on what you want the bike for.
If you want to see the full review of the Diverge, it's in the channel. Full review of the Grizl in the channel as well. And for my returning viewers, those of you that keep coming back and getting value out of this channel, there's a lot of you. I see it. Please subscribe. It goes a long way in getting more bikes. So if you want to see more bikes on this channel, I want to ride more bikes, you want to see more bikes, please subscribe. It really helps. And as always, see you on the next one.